welcome back to my channel. I'm Jacqueline. You are watching Jacqueline Joyce, and of course I do a lot of content on stuttering. This is more for those who are new. I do have a bunch of new subscribers, so thank you so much for subscribing. I like to call this like a lifestyle vlog that pertains to stuttering. I am not a therapist. I have done a lot of therapy. I have met a lot of people who stutter. I read stuttering journals. I've talked to a few scientists who are working on learning about the stuttering gene and where it comes from and all of that. But I'm definitely by no means a therapist, but I stutter, and I'm here to basically share my personal experiences, what have helped, what hasn't, and hoping that my experience can help someone else. Because, I grew up not knowing a lot of people who stutter, so, okay. I also have an update on the job interview video that I did. I didn't get the job, sad face, but not because I wasn't qualified or not because I didn't interview well. It was because, drum roll, it was because of nepotism. They hired someone who basically knew everyone on the staff, but the interviewer did reach back out and she told me that they really did like me, and then she recommended me to another job. And so literally everything that I spoke about on that video I did in my interview, and so it worked out really well. I've even had people who don't stutter reach out and say, this really helped me on a job interview that I had. And so I feel really great about that because, I did put some time into it, and I appreciate that it was helpful. So if you have not seen that video, it's linked in the description box below. And if you have seen it, comment, get money in the comment section below, because it just might help you snag a higher paying gig. I've been noticing as of late that my speech is becoming a bit more labored. I purposely did not take the CBD oil before because I just kind of want to show you guys what my speech is at the moment. Of course, there are factors involved. I'm currently recording this with one other person in the room, and so my anxiety level is fairly low. As of late, my speech has been a bit more strained. It hasn't been as smooth as I would like for it to be. Meaning, it's harder for me to carry on easy breezy conversations with friends, and even when I'm out having drinks, I have to stop and form my thought before saying them. I can't just have free-flowing conversations with my friends, which is what I've worked myself up to. Even when I talk to my mom or give her instructions, I've been having to slow down and ease out my words, and talking to my mom is like an Olympic sport because her attention span is so short. So I made a video letting you guys know how I get back on track. And the first thing that I do is I stop. I realize that my speech is different. I accept it, and then I figure out what I need to do to move forward. I know I don't talk about speech techniques a lot, but when I find that my speaking becomes laborious, I use easy onsets, light contacts, and voluntary stuttering. I first learned easy onsets, which is when you ease into the sounds that you're attempting to say. It's sort of like gliding on. So Jacqueline is the best person in the world. I wish I had more money in my account. I did therapy session in Roanoke, Virginia, and while there we practiced for hours every day on a microphone that would gauge how much effort we put into our speaking. And if we used too much pressure, the computer would turn red. And so we have a gentle start unto the beginning of each word. Now, the visual of me watching my voice match to the amount of effort used worked well, and it served as a visual reminder. And I think this technique works really well, especially if you know that a stutter is coming up and you know that you're going to have a difficult time with the word that you have to say. Easing onto it is definitely a way to alleviate some of the tension that is correlated with my stutter at least. And you see how I started on the word at at least, but I stuttered on the second syllable. You can definitely use this technique anywhere within a word to alleviate the tension and make sure that it's a smoother outcome. So I can honestly say that this technique works. However, this technique only began working when I dealt with the bulk of my insecurities related to stuttering. So if I'm having a conversation with someone and I'm in the fear of a stutter, or I fear of letting that person that I'm talking to know that I'm stuttering, the fear overweighs my analytical brain than allowing me to use the technique, which is why I think dealing with the psychological side of stuttering is far more important than the techniques. But techniques absolutely help once you're no longer frozen by fear of the fact that you stutter. Light context help because I tend to use a lot of pressure when saying stop plosives, which are letters like P, B, T, D, and K, popcorn, Baton Rouge, tada, doodle, climb, Calabasas. They're words that you can't really like ease up on or slide on, like Lowry seasoning salt. They're like lovely day, how are you? You know, these are like power, peacock, wow, it's not even a word. But that would work too. So instead of, saying it with holding the pressure between my lips, I do a light contact, and so I lightly touch it. Paper, poodle, kazoo. You lessen the amount of tension between your lips and your teeth when making that sound. And it takes practice, because if your habit is to approach these words with a lot of tension, then that's what your habit is, and so that's what you're used to doing. I'm doing it right now, if you can tell. And of course, it's a bit obvious when you're first starting, but over time it becomes just a normal part of your speech. Using this technique helps you control the amount of effort put forth. So the next thing I do is voluntary stuttering. I personally have like fluent stretches of time where I'm just fluent. And then once that stretch is over, I've adapted to being fluent. And so when I stutter, I fight it a bit. I have to trick myself into saying, no girl, that fluent stretch was just a fluent stretch. And who you are is a person who stutters. And you have to approach life as a person who stutters. And making sure that I voluntary stutter reiterates that for me. And of course, for those of you who don't know what voluntary stuttering, it's basically purposely stuttering on words in a sentence. So if I'm meeting someone for the first time and they say, hi, how are you? I would say, hi, I'm well, thank you. Even if I was gonna say that sentence fluently, me introducing myself as Jacqueline, but also without saying it, I'm introducing myself as someone who stutters. And so it lets them know I stutter, and it's also me making sure that I'm not trying to present as a fluent person. Voluntary stuttering is definitely hard for people who haven't yet accepted the fact that they stutter, or haven't accepted the fact that stuttering is maybe their new norm and fluency just isn't something that's attainable. And I think a lot of people get caught up in but there are people who stuttered who are fluent. I think there are a lot of people who manage their stutter very well to the point where you don't know that they stutter. And so it seems like they're fluent, when in actuality, they've learned to manage their speech so well. Like, I know that my friends sometimes compliment me. They're like, oh my God, you're not stuttering at all. And I'm like, no, I've been stuttering this whole time. You just can't tell because I've been using my technique so well. The goal is to make the a habit. And just like everyone else in the world, I fall off and, I have to start over and recalibrate and start from scratch. But I've also been practicing these techniques for a pretty long time, and so I can usually hop back on the bike fairly quickly. And if this is for you, then it's for you, and if it's not, then that's fine too. Some people are very comfortable being someone who outwardly stutters. I personally wasn't comfortable with having such struggle, which is why I do incorporate some of these. So I really appreciate you guys for watching. I really hope this was helpful, and if it was helpful, comment yes girl in the comment section below so I can know that this was, you know, just not mind-numbing stutter information. And I'll get back to some of the more personal experiences and stories in the next video. But, you know, I think sharing what has really helped me as a stutterer is important as well, even if it's pretty technical. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your face. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. That's the big one. Subscribe. I need you guys to subscribe. I want to see my counts go up. All right. Thank you. Stutter beautifully and have a wonderful day. Mwah.